insight and weekly wisdom with you through the use of Oracle and Tarot. I'm so excited to dive in. We have a full moon eclipse in Pisces coming up this week on September 7th. So let me tell you, the emotions and the feels and all those past pains that we've been shoving in the corner are definitely going to be highlighted this season. Now, it's not to be, afraid of or something to back down from. This eclipse is actually giving us the invitation and opportunity for us to really let go of what has been weighing us down. And the truth is, it's probably old, crusty pains that no longer serve you anymore. And the wisdom that you're going to take from this, that this eclipse is going to highlight, is going to help you really rebirth into this new evolved version of yourself. Now, I know this to be true because I just got off 2 calls today with people who said the word shift like 45 times, and they're talking about how they're transitioning in life or in business. And so I have a feeling that you're probably going through that same energetic transformation where something in your business is shifting or something in your life or personal relationship is changing. We are at a season of transformation. I mean, we have the fall equinox that's coming up later this month. We have another new moon in Virgo, another eclipse, which is a solar eclipse. So there's a lot coming up to be like released. So one thing I'd like to point out before we dive into I've got all the cards today. Before we dive into the cards, is your health. During this Virgo season, our health and our routines are a really important part of setting up a solid foundation and system for ourselves. So when it comes to giving yourself space to be able to process these emotions, to be able to feel some of these deep feelings, because sometimes like those traumatic feelings like can trigger a whole sense of like abandonment or not feeling worthy or good enough. And if we don't have a safe environment to process these emotions, then it can kind of, I don't know, trigger those old feelings where we feel like we're not ready to let them go. And so I think it's important for you to recognize that as we go through this month, as we move through and shift through some old past pains, letting go of the old stories, like really giving yourself permission to be radically honest with what is not serving me. Like, what is the story I keep telling myself, or what is the belief, or what is that thing I keep doing that keeps holding me back? This is that opportunity for us to get crystal clear and say, okay, I'm going to take responsibility and make some changes. And I feel like when we're making changes, this is why I became a hairdresser. I thought if I hated myself on the inside and I could change the way that I looked on the outside by coloring and cutting my hair, then that would like totally fix all the inside feelings. But little did I know that's not how it worked. I was trying to externally change all the things that needed an internal honesty. And so that's what I see this Virgo season being, is an opportunity for you to get honest with yourself about the shadowy bits that are making you feel like you're not there yet, making you feel like um I don't know, like I think just I'm not there yet is the feeling that I'm really picking up right now. Is like, but I'm this old, or I've done this much, or I've gone this far. Like I feel like I should be further, or I should be there. But right now, Virgo is saying you are here, and we have to take an assessment, reality check of what we brought to the table energetically, physically, spiritually, and in our businesses as well. Like, what all are we putting on the table right now? So for me personally, I'm using this opportunity to refine, to surrender, to let go, to like after I get off this, y'all, I'm getting in my dirty sweat clothes. I'm going in the garage and I'm going to help my mom clean out all of the stuff that's been piling up for her. And it's going to be really like cathartic. We've been doing it to all little house parts of the house right now. So feng shui is in full swing over here. And I invite you to do the same. Because again, as I mentioned, when we are processing these emotions, we have to give ourselves a sense of safety in our surrounding areas. Hello, where are my empaths? Like, drop that's me in the chat, because if you're an empath, you're most likely going to be picking up not only your own feelings, but everyone else that's processing. And this eclipse is emerging for all of us. So empaths, beware. This eclipse season is going to be one that invites you to protect your energy and creating space so that you can process through those things. So for me, it is about clearing physical and energetic space, but also digitally. Even my husband walked in when I was trying to set up this camera in here, because we're moving around. We'll be in Tulum next week. I was setting up this camera and I was like, I don't know, I'm just trying to make it work in here, you know? And he looked at my desktop. He's like, oh God, babe, like it's so scary. There's like pictures and there's so many things. It's so scary. So for me, it's like operation zero, get everything off the desktop top, everything off the inbox, everything off the literal desk. So are you someone who's going through that seasonal shift where you're like, I've got to make space physically and clearing and purging in your house? Let me pull up, where are all my comments? Empath, definitely, Leanne says here. Jen says empath for sure. Hello, y'all. It's so good to see you. Feeling all of that. Okay, I get it. I get it. Sending high vibes from the UK. It's so good to see you guys. So that's really the energy of Virgo this season, is about just getting clearing off the plate and really refining your routine so that your health is your first wealth. That's the most important thing. So with that in mind, I'm going to pull a card from the Shine from the Inside, and I'm going to pull some tarot cards to see what can we pay attention to during this time where we need to be tender with our inner child. We need to give ourselves permission and space to finally release some of those feelings that have felt heavy, that actually, whether they're weighing us down or like making us feel small. There's so many different ways that holding on to past pain can stifle our confidence and our creative expression and our courage to be able to take the next intuitive step that you're being called to be able to transform that wisdom or those lessons into the next step for fuel to be able to create more inspiration in the world or share more love or creativity or however you express yourself. It doesn't matter what your job is. It's just the way that you approach it and the energy that you bring to it. And as we give ourselves permission to heal those pains and let go of those traumas, it actually allows us. Ooh, there's a death card, y'all. It allows us to expand our capacity to be able to show up and shine even brighter and hold more space and do the thing that we so naturally do, but even better and even more refined and with less attachment. I feel like we can share our gifts even more when we're not worried about, well, what am I going to get from this, rather than how can I just continue to show up and serve, because we actually show up and take care of ourselves and we no longer look for people outside of ourselves to fill that cup. All right. That was beautiful. Here's a card that flipped out at me. I'm going to pull one more and then we'll grab a Shine from the Inside Oracle. So drop some sparkles in the chat if you are ready for this message in your, what are we, full moon in Pisces. This is going to be the emotional depths. Your spiritual truth and transformation time is here, which is why I think on this new moon, just in 2 weeks, I'm going to relaunch Shift, but this time anyone who has access to Shift can have the opportunity to work with me one-on-one. I think we're going to do an accountability group of 5 weeks where we move through all different 5 modules of the Shift program, which is my pillar framework to navigate change and ease with grace so that you no longer self-sabotage. I feel like those two were trying to come out, but I just feel like we need one card for today. Let's keep it nice and simple. Unless they just have to come together. Oh my gosh. There's 2 freaking cards, y'all. I love it. Okay, let me grab these. Okay, 2 cards from the Oracle. I did take a little peek-see, so I have a very clear vision of why I was talking about our health being the first wealth and making our environment like the highest quality so that we can process these emotions, because y'all, those cards, it says it all in the cards. I can't wait to read it to you. Okay, the first card that did come up for this full moon in Pisces is the Queen of Swords, which is all about radical truth and honesty. This card usually comes up when it's time for us to take a look at what not only our thoughts, because the suit of swords is all about our thoughts, and the queen wearing this crown that has the thorns on it represents that sharp intellect. And so it's important for us to analyze our thoughts. That's what this sword is all about, using discernment to analyze, are our thoughts supporting us or are they cutting us back down? So give yourself a moment to just think about how you've been relating to yourself inside your mind, the stories that you tell yourself, the limiting labels that you unconsciously wear by saying, I'm not good enough, or I'm too this, or I'm not this enough, or I'm bleh, like whatever, insert shitty label here. So the Queen of Swords is showing up as a reminder that your thoughts, and well-ordered thoughts, keeping them clear and positive in the direction you want to go, are going to help you to eliminate the fear and the anxiety and the worry that you're projecting with your own thinking. It's not coming from outside of yourself. All of your fears and all of your doubts and insecurities and worries, they are of your making. You are deciding to feel that way. And this Queen of Swords is saying it's time for you to get honest with yourself, get true to what is in your heart. And if the stories that you're telling yourself or the feelings that you're experiencing are not making you feel good or not moving you forward, then this is your opportunity to rewrite the script. to shift, to let go of the old way of thinking and transform into a new way of approaching life with new habits and a new mindset. All of this is a choice. And that to me is the most freedom you'll ever have, is knowing that at any moment you get to choose. Like you get to decide, I'm going to shift this thought, I'm going to shift this feeling. Like you're in control of it. Your emotions and your thoughts are not running you. You are running them. And if you feel like they're running you, then this is that opportunity to slow down, to start analyzing those thoughts, to start seeing, like, actually, why do I think this way? Why am I feeling this way? And know that you have the power to say, actually, that was the way I learned when I was a child, and I no longer choose to think that way. Um, which I feel like came up earlier today in an interesting conversation about religion. But that is neither here nor there. Just funny, interesting that that would come through. And I experienced something like that today, where you have to be able to discern, like, is this information true for me or is it not? And it can be true for you, even if it's not for me, and we're in the same room. I think that's an important piece when it comes to finding your authenticity and your integrity, is knowing that you are you and they are they. And you don't have to feel, think, act, believe, talk the same way that they are or do, to be able to relate, have compassion, empathy, and understanding for each other. I think this is how we move forward with peace, y'all. This is the Libra in me talking. Like, we can all think and act differently, but still allow each other that freedom and space to express that. Anyone else feel that way? Or am I just on my own little random tangent over here? Hello, sun-kissed moon, coffee. Hello, that's lovely. Yes, I'm so ready for this. Already taking steps on this path. Yes, Leanne, I love it. Okay, just catching up with all of your comments. All right, tarot oracle reading for this full moon in Pisces. Let's see the next card that comes up. The Seven of Wands is showing up. This is an actually interesting card after what we just talked about, because the Seven of Wands is about taking up a defense in your beliefs and a stance on your integrity and what you stand on, the ground that you stand on. So when I see the Seven of Wands, this is about having the ability to fight for what you believe in, to be able to stand in your integrity, which is like interesting because, I believe that one of the reasons why we went all the way through the Amazing Race applications and like made it all that far. Like, obviously, we're awesome, but I believe that we got cut because we stood in our integrity about our health. And we said, you know what, no matter where we go, we just don't want to get any kind of vaccination. And they were like, that's going to be a problem going to 12 different countries, which we understood. Like, we totally know that that is like, we get that, but we're not willing to do that. And so we got cut. And anywho, that's why we're about to be traveling like crazy, because I took all this time off for this show. I'm like, not going to miss out on traveling. I'm still going to go. So Mexico, here we come. But this card is exactly that energy, is standing on your grounds of what is true for you, what your integrity is, and being willing to stand with courage and say, this is what I believe in. This is where my boundary is, and I'm not going to cross that. So what I'm seeing right now with the Seven of Wands and the Queen of Swords is that you're probably being tested. You're being challenged. You're being given an opportunity to say, where are those boundaries, and giving yourself refinement to say, you know what, that's not one I'm going to cross. That I need to reinforce that. And I always say a boundary is not a boundary without a consequence. So when someone crosses that boundary, there has to be action taken that shows, like, this is not okay. It's like allowing your partner to continue to like talk trash about you or your business or be condescending, and you just continue to allow it, even though internally you're like, okay, I'm not going to let this bother me. This is just like, I'm done with this, like, whatever. You're still allowing that boundary to be crossed because there's no consequence. And so they're going to continue that action. Mama always said, you teach people how to treat you. So you teach them by setting up that consequence. By, when you say these things to me, I will no longer engage with you, or I'll ask you to leave, or whatever your boundary is. Like, you got to come up with that fun stuff. That's like your freedom, right? So if you have someone crossing your boundaries right now, I want you to empower yourself by thinking about, well, what is that consequence I'm going to bring to the table when this happens again? Especially if they're used to walking on that empath energy. You guys know what I mean. My people pleasers in the house, I love you, but we got to stand up. We got to use our voice and say, this is not okay. Coming from my own experience, right? Hello, Miss Nikki. Hello, Vic. It's so good to see you guys. April in the house. I've missed you, friend. Oh, so good to see you, Britt. Oh, okay. So next is our oracle cards. Very excited to bring you those because I had a little peek-see when they flipped out on the floor because obviously two wanted to come out. We have nourish your body with high vibing energy and treat yourself to something beautiful today. So these cards are absolutely a reminder that how you treat yourself, like you teach people how to treat you. I'm telling you, my mama's wisdom, I'm visiting her right now. Her wisdom is coming in strong. Along with the nourish your body with high vibing energy, these are saying it is time for you to treat yourself the way that you want to be treated. And it starts with what you're consuming, what you're putting into your physical field. So when I see the nourish your body with high vibing energy, of course, I mean, drink our green smoothies like we did this morning. That's great. Drink your water. Okay. Number one, important. Get your minerals in. Okay. If you're not taking your salts, okay, like your Himalayan pink salt in your water every morning, that's a cheat code to get your minerals in. But if we are not really thinking about the quality of energy that we're putting in our body, like the foods that we're putting in our body, are we eating processed food? Are we drinking our caffeine rather than generating it through workout or breath work? Are we opting for sugar rather than giving ourselves the space to process why we're looking to cope with food rather than deal with our emotions? Okay. So, nourish your body with high vibing energy is not just about drinking the water and the green juice. It's also about the environment you set yourself in. This is something we talked about earlier with all of these emotions coming up in this eclipse. This is about giving yourself permission to clean up the environment externally and internally. Internally, with what you're eating and feeling. Okay. And externally with what you're surrounding yourself with, what environment you're choosing to put yourself in. And if it's your home environment and that needs a tune up and a clean up, like this is that opportunity and invitation. Like, let's do some feng shui. Now, perfect, because treat yourself to something beautiful also comes up. And I always point out to anyone who gets this card in a reading that it has the word grow written on the wrist, which I find to be so symbolic because treat yourself to something beautiful today was a lesson I took out of Shine School that I created almost 10 years ago. So way before Miley and her buy yourself some flowers, because the lesson literally out of Shine School, Miley must have like secretly taken it under a different email, and she's a student, we just don't know it, because literally one of the lessons in Shine School is buy yourself your own damn flowers. I had to learn that really quickly when I married an Aquarius who was like not into gift giving, and he's more into like presents, being together rather than presents. Here's some flowers. And so my Libra self is like, but I want presents. I want both as a Libra. So I realized, like, if I want the flowers, I'm going to have to buy them myself. Like, I'm going to have to do that for myself. And so I started buying myself flowers, and that triggered Chris to be like, oh, she obviously wants flowers. And then now he buys me flowers. So you teach others how to treat you. You see, like, how this is working. So when you treat yourself to something beautiful today, you end up creating this magnetic attraction of people doing the same acts of service that you're doing for yourself. So I have this like secret rule. Whenever I'm like wanting something or craving something, whether it's like as simple as a compliment or flowers or a gift or an opportunity, I go and give that to someone else like in that moment. So if I wanted to receive flowers, I would go and give somebody flowers because one, I now have felt that feeling of what it feels like to be the giver of flowers and to see like, oh my God, they loved seeing, like, getting to see someone receive it. Now I've activated that law of reciprocity, and you give, you so you shall receive rule, that karmic rule, that they taught us about. So the more you give compliments, the more you give gifts, the more you give time, presence, love, creativity, service, you're going to end up attracting that back into your life. So that's my secret hack on, like, when I want something to come into my life, I actually go and give it, and then I give myself permission to be surprised by the magic of how it ends up showing up in its own unique way. All right. Speaking of hydrate and nourishing our body, get some water in. Nikki says, so needed to hear this today. Been struggling with changes. I am so excited for the changes that are in store for you and for all of us right now, because this eclipse is really an opportunity and an invitation to say what's not working and just be real. Like, okay, I don't like this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Yesterday, I had a meeting with my assistant. Many of you know her, B Harp, and she just said, I want you to just totally rest from now until the end of the year, also while you write your book. I'm like, oh, okay. But she said, I want you to think about this. What is fun for you? And of course, I'm coaching people all the time saying, like, what are you passionate about? Do what you love, follow your heart. But just her reflecting that question back to me, what would be fun for you right now? It really like, whew, what would be fun for me right now? And I really had to sit with that. I'm like, what is fun for me right now? And a lot of what is fun for me right now is my own personal life and traveling with my husband and taking care of my mom and helping her like get back on her feet from that accident that she had earlier this year. So a lot of my fun is like not what you would think is like business and all the things. When it comes to my business, for me, what's fun is I said, duh, retreats, like in person, being together, all of the time that we're like in person and hugging and playing in the ball pits and doing all the fun things that we do. But I have no events scheduled from now until the end of the year. I'm showing up and doing other events and things like that, but I don't have any of my own. I've had people even reach out and ask, like, when's the next event? Are you doing a yoga class soon? But I'm trying to find this balance of like, okay, what does it look like to truly take a pause and rest while also having founded like a community and an event, not business, but an event experience. Like there's always events going on around here. So it feels weird to like slow down and navigate this change, but I'm giving myself permission to do the S in Shift, my program that we're going to launch and do like the accountability group together. And that is to surrender. Surrender is the first thing I do when shit is hitting the fan. I'm like, oh, the universe is got me at a turning point and wants some changes happening. Okay, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to surrender and I'm going to start making space. That's why I said earlier, it's important for you to like clean up the diet, clear out the clutter, clean up the stuff on your desk. And I swear to God, Nikki, I'm gonna ship the goddess retreat intention chain. You're gonna be the first person I ship it to because you're literally getting married this month and I want to surprise you. So surprise, it's been on my mind all day and I feel like this is the accountability piece. I clearly need to get it done, but I found it. It was packed up in a box. I've got some of my desk unpacked here for a minute while we just travel about. So, oh my God, do the things that are on your to-do list. Like get that list done because I know how good it will feel when you finally do the thing. Yesterday, my mom cleaned all of the windows in the back. It was so beautiful, so pristine. I said, how good did that feel? She's like, oh, it soothed my soul. So, what is that thing that you're going to do this week, this month to soothe your soul, to get to close out a chapter, to finally knock that thing off your to-do list or be able to move forward. Maybe it's just changing your routine. I told Chris this morning, I was like, I have fallen off my yoga game. My lower back is sore, and that is a problem, especially as a freaking yoga teacher. But because I have not been doing the in-person event so much, I haven't been leading yoga as much, which is why I've been skipping, like real talk. So my birthday's next month, and I told Chris I'll be 39. So I told Chris I have a goal for my 40th birthday. I'm going to do yoga every single day except for Sunday for me, and my period time. Also important to not go upside down when you're bleeding. You want the blood to go down, not up. So we can talk about that later. But I'm making a commitment on my birthday that I'm going to do yoga every single day. Like I need a goal. Like I need something to commit to because my life is in so much change and flux, and I'm like in different beds every freaking week. So I'm like, I have to have a constant goal and it has to be a health goal. So for me, it's getting back into yoga. So I want to know, like, accountability piece before we wrap up today. What goal are you going to commit to for the month of September? Now I've got a friggin' lofty goal of going all year until I turn 40. I can't imagine like how good it will feel. Cause I remember when I was in the prime of my yoga practice and doing all the things, like, oh my God, I felt like $1,000,000. In fact, I remember thinking, people don't do this every day. How do they live? Like, how do they live in their body and feel good? Well, right now I'm not feeling that great in my lower back. So I'm realizing my own freaking lesson here. So, radical honesty, get true with what's going on, how you're showing up, stand your ground once you find that integrity and authenticity, set those boundaries and have consequences with them. And then finally, nourish your body, your environment with high vibing energy, good music, good people you follow and connect to, good community and friendships, no one that's draining you, no toxic energy. If your job sucks, like let's think about updating the resume. That might be the feng shui we need to do. And then treat yourself to something beautiful today, not tomorrow. I mean, I'll give you permission for the rest of the week, but that's the energy of like, how can I do something nice for me today? Every day, something small, doesn't have to be grand and big. Like I just got a $10,000 ring. Oh my God. No, it could be something as simple as buy your own damn flowers or make a hot bath because you know your lower back has been sore because you've been skipping yoga. You know how that goes. My goal is to maintain my new morning routine. Discipline. Yes, 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 yes. Discipline is actually one of the pillars that I teach inside the Manifest Your Dreams Mastermind. Discipline is one masculine key to unlocking the 6 pillars of being an effortless flow of manifestation. So discipline, and that's why I am being disciplined and showing up to my yoga. It's actually it's one of the 8 limbs of yoga as well. In Ashtanga yoga, there's 8 different principles that create this holistic union of yoga, and discipline is one of them. Showing up on the mat every fucking day. So I got to get back to my discipline and my core principles of practice. Like literally, you have to, you got to practice your own medicine, right? We all know what to do. Okay, anything else? Definitely going to be standing in my power more this month. Boundaries are important. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, any other things that we are committing to in September? I want to hold you accountable. I'll be your cheerleader. So needed to hear this today. Oh my gosh. So good. Where's the magic? Where's the Mystic Woods today? My mom is enjoying the Mystic Woods right now, listening to her Led Zeppelin. I had a bunch of podcast calls today, so we had the camera set up in here. So we're just chilling in here for today, but we will certainly be joining. Actually, next week we'll be joining live for the Elevated Live from the mystical woods. And then we'll be in Tulum for a few weeks. So can't wait to join you guys from Mexico. That's going to be a blast. Okay, I'll get high every day, goal set, but for real, I'm game for some daily yoga. I need it. My body deserves it. Oh, Vic said the Taurus, literally. Our bodies do deserve to be treated well. I know when they say health is the first wealth, it is absolutely the truth, because anytime you start to feel sick, the first thing you lose is your creativity and willingness to want to go out and serve. You have to like totally start serving yourself to heal, to rebuild, to recharge, which is why we need y'all healthy light workers out there shining bright, making a difference. So it starts with taking care of us. So that is my goal, my commitment. I'm committing to yoga every damn day until I turn 40, and then obviously beyond, because then like we'll have that habit and routine set in stone. But because of all the changes and all the moving and traveling, like I just have allowed myself to skip, and I am feeling it and I don't like it. And so I'm being radically honest, like the Queen of Swords says today. Where can you be radically honest, and what can you do to start treating yourself? All right. April says boundaries. I'm definitely setting boundaries and loving myself more. I love it so much. Boundaries are so sexy. They're so important for empaths. In fact, we teach a whole masterclass inside the Elevated Life Club on boundaries, because without them, we become doormats, and that is not safe for an empath. Hello, gorgeous. It's so awesome to see you. Also, I cannot wait for our co-sound bath, sister. This is going to be so fun, Danielle. I can't wait to talk about it with the crew too. Okay, this has been amazing serving you for this full moon in Pisces coming up on the 7th. I am sending you so much love and tenderness. I'm holding your soul and your inner child through these transitions and release of trauma and pain and old stored up pent up energy. I invite you this full moon, if you are not going to connect in a circle. I know we haven't done an in-person goddess gathering in a minute. Y'all, I am in my season of rest, but I am sending you so much love for wherever you find yourself on this full moon. Give yourself permission to write down all the things that you want to release, burn it, tear it up, let it go, and really give yourself permission this eclipse to let it go, Louie. Like my mom always says, let it go, Louie. It's time to release the old and really give yourself permission to rebirth into this embodied, authentic version of you. You have become the most beautiful version of yourself. This year has refined you. This year has challenged you. This year has stretched and expanded you beyond your own comfort zone. And because of that, you are now at this precipice of change where you get to decide, I'm going to step fully into my power, embody it, embrace it, and have the courage to shine my light. Or you can continue to run those same patterns and give yourself the let's see. Well, if you don't choose to change, then you're giving yourself permission to stay complacent. Really, that's what it is. You are choosing to stay the same. So this is an opportunity for you to change. Are you going to stay the same and do the same routines, think the same thoughts? or are you going to give yourself permission to elevate, expand, and up level? I am choosing the up and on version. Thank you so much. See you next week for TEL. I cannot wait. Season of rest. Yes, I know. That's like we're in full feminine mode right now, giving ourselves full permission to surrender. Okay, y'all, this has been so much fun. Be on the lookout for some emails from me because I'll be sharing a little bit more about what it's going to look like when I launch the Shift program again, so that you can have the 5 pillars to navigate change and spiritual transformation with ease, so that you can finally put an end to that self-sabotaging and embrace this transformation so that you can rebirth into this most embodied and empowered version of yourself. So I will be relaunching Shift, but this time we will have a live 5-week accountability piece where I am joining you every single week, and we are moving through some of the transformation that you are navigating. So I cannot wait to support you in that journey of reclaiming your power and really trusting the process, because I know that us empaths can get a little impatient in the in between. That's usually where we self sabotage. It's why I was guided to create this in 2020 when everyone was flailing and flopping in the darkness. They were like, what is happening? Oh my God, I don't want to go back to the old, but I don't even know how to embrace the new yet. So if you feel like you're caught in that in between of transformation and transition, you're like, I know I'm ready to let go of the old, but I don't exactly know the framework on how to trust my intuition in this next new chapter or see the biggest vision available for me, then this might be the perfect program to help you expand those wings and fly together. All right. So I'll be sending emails and posting about that. If you're interested, just DM me the word shift. That way I know I've got you on my radar and I'll get you that information soon. All right. Happy full moon blessings in Pisces, eclipse, blood moon, holy smokes. Let go of the hey, no big deal. Let go of your inner child trauma. It's time. And if you need that support, you know I'm here for you beyond these readings. All right. Thank you guys. Stay elevated. Everybody needs to jump on to Shift. I agree. All right. I love you guys. I will see you next week. Oh my God, I'll see you next week from Mexico. I think I'll be flying that day. I might just have to join you from wherever we are, whenever we land. It'll be a surprise. I can't wait to show you guys. All right.